guys, welcome back for game number 2.
Did you just curse at me?
No.
No, just kidding.
I said something really, really random in Russian. Liquid Taeja is our yellow Terran spawning on the left side of Metropolis, being down surprisingly 0-1 against Gosu's Hwangsin, currently coached by the one and only, the man who can play in his chair from all possible positions. He will show you guys positions that you've never seen before. Wow, if you would ever be a single man and you'd go to a bar, you could go just to a girl and say like, hey, I know positions you've never even heard of. And you're gonna rock her world, man.
No. Okay.
Okay. Andre is very serious. Andre is not as playful as I am.
Yes.
Okay, Andre.
I'm scared about that conversation, man.
I know. I said it.
I know. I know.
I know you're a happy man.
I'm pretty much a married man. Dude.
I know, and you're a super happy
It's
man,
good
and
time.
that's awesome, Andre. And I'm still a happy lonely.
Thank you so much.
Happy lonely boy. I sing Akon songs every night.
Aww.
Mr. Lonely.
Hold. You should sing that Michael Jackson featuring a console. Hold my hand.
Oh, that one's so sad.
Oh, I love that song, man.
I know which one you mean. Anyways, curious to see how Taeja is going to play in this game. So far, it seems to look like it's going to be a no-gas fast expand build. So a little bit different. As if you guys missed it on game number 1, he went for the CC before Rex. So small difference. And do you think, what are we going to see out of Hwangsin, since you know him pretty much better than anyone? Since
Okay, so again, this is another map where Orbital Command Center, 3 Orbital Command Centers are very, very common now. I kind of left it up to Hwangsin at this point because here's the tricky part where it's like, well, because he did that 3 Colossus push, Taeja might be acting a little bit different. So the main thing that Hwangsin should be looking out for is some sort of like 5 barracks off of 2 base, or even 7 barracks off of 2 base, which we've seen Taeja do in the past, and that sounds absolutely sicko, but you know, that's the power of Taeja, his ability to sway back and forth from all-out aggression and being really good at it to all-out macro and being able to defend against a variety of different builds.
do you feel that if Taeja gets to a certain phase of the game where he knows that he's going to go up to 3 bases, he's going to be able to get to, let's say, 160, 170 supply, that it's going to be close to impossible for Hwangsin to win this game? Or do you still feel that even late game, Hwangsin has what it takes to go head-to-head?
You know, I actually think Hwangsin has really good endgame skill. We saw that in his match against Thorazine. I've actually played maybe like 50 games with Hwangsin and just testing his endgame skills as much as possible. And I feel like he's been training it well enough to actually keep up with Taeja. But the fact of the matter is, I think we both agree that Hwangsin needs to go into that endgame stage with a slight advantage. And that's just because of how excellent of a player Taeja is. We have to respect that and say, you know, Hwangsin, you need to go into that endgame stage with, like, let's say, a tech advantage. So, you know, you're catching your opponent off guard with high Templars or switching it over to Colossus when they don't expect it, or something like that.
Or at least sort of position advantage. Having control of Zelnok watchtowers, having pilots in good locations, having a few having enough gas that you can have high Templars in defensive positions and win battles without those guys, that you don't always need them, that they're always there. I really feel that's sort of something that you really need. Taeja is going to drop 2 additional Rexes after he dropped another command center, so once more it's a triple orbital opening over here from Liquid Taeja.
And you can see Hwangsin already being a little bit more defensive on this map. You know, Metropolis is known to be such a substantially large map, but opening up 2 gateways and then a Twilight Council, so we are going to see a little bit of trickery coming out of Hwangsin. This is going to be blink play, most likely.
Just straight up blink play, or is he going to try to blink up into the main base?
Probably try to blink up into the main base, and obviously this goes into what we were talking about before, just trying to get some sort of a little tiny advantage on Taeja before you actually go into macro mode. You want to enter macro mode with an advantage so you can always have that momentum. Because honestly, if you give Taeja that initiative, the ability to actually make the decisions on when battles happen and where battles happen, that's where he actually shines the most. That's where he's able to say, my units are most effective right here, and this is where the battle is going to be. I'm going to make it such that the battle is here, and then his brilliance shows and shines through.
So far you're spot on once more, Andre, as Blink is currently being researched. Impact technology just now started. Beautiful scan there by but did not see the Twilight Console.
Okay, this is a little bit suspicious. The robotics facility is slightly later. It's like maybe 20 to 30 seconds later, and I feel like Taeja, seeing that, should actually know
what's going on?
Yeah, not what's going on, but should know, like, okay, my opponent has the range of going Blink Stalker plus Observers. Because when you see a robotics facility this significantly late, you're saying, well, why is your tech so late? Are you doing some sort of gateway all-in? That wouldn't make sense, because why get the robo? So it's probably going to be something like either a drop play or, as we see right now, Blink Stalkers.
Well, I think if Taeja was aware of it, he would start a few Marauders. He only has one tech lab on these Rexes, but even just 2 or 3 Marauders can make a world of difference. Not just because of concussive shield, but also because of the damage they actually deal. Taeja doesn't get a bunker over here as well. The Observer is out on the map. This could get really dicey, Andre.
Yeah, it could, and you can see he's already preparing for drop Dark Templars, which is something that's definitely within Hwangsin's range. I love that he's actually putting missile turret up in the front and then preparing sort of in the back. Now this Observer is going to come in here. If Taeja's able to snipe that, that'll be a very big thing. Oh no, Hwangsin!
And now Taeja knows. Taeja normally scans immediately. Here comes the first blink.
Nice.
He's going to pick off a few Marines. We only have 13 Marines, 12 Marines. I actually think that Hwangsin is going to be able to deal so much damage over here.
And he's going to pick up a couple of these SCVs. He doesn't want to go to the top because that really just cements his position.
Don't lose the Observer, Hwangsin. Don't lose the Observer, or don't lose all high ground vision.
And it looks like Hwangsin's pretty good here.
I think Hwangsin has almost done it. If he had a warp in pilot right now, he would have won the game already. First Marauders do pop out right now.
But, you know, to an extent, this is the respect I want to say that Hwangsin is giving to Taeja. I don't think he thought this was going to do really as much damage, honestly.
He would have been able to straight up win the game over here. He had more Stalkers than Marines on the field.
I agree. And that would have been game ending. It's really, really unfortunate, actually.
Now Stim is ready. The first Marauders are on the field. And Taeja is actually going to, well, how do you say that? Survive by the skin of his teeth?
Yes.
Wow,
yes.
Look at me. Busting out them English sayings.
Not bad, son. Not bad.
Wow, Hwangsin, if only you had a single pylon over here or over here. Warp in 4 more Stalkers, and this would have been absolutely game over. And Hwangsin would have done what nobody in chat expected. And
literally nobody in chat.
No, nobody. No, literally. As the chat, of course, guys, if you are a subscriber, you can take part in our chat and you can vote on who you think is going to win the series. And 100% of our subscribers predicted that Taeja was going to win the series.
Yeah, that's crazy. You know, Hwangsin was trying to do light pressure. That's something that I'm completely fine with. I would have loved that, as you said, that pylon. Wow, I can't believe scan radius is that big.
Yeah, exactly. It felt like this would have ended over here.
Yeah. But you know what, Hwangsin was preparing for the future. He's getting his 1-1 and preparing that inevitable push directly after that. The problem is, Taeja, yes, he lost a lot of SCVs, a total of 12. But
I feel that's not even that much. Cause
yeah, you have 3 orbital command centers. It's like no big deal, Mer.
Well, it's definitely not a big deal. And then the fact that you open up with Blink. Blink is suddenly then only good in the defensive matter of sniping medevacs. Because in the straight up fight, if they would fight over here, Blink is going to be, well, never useless, but just nowhere near as strong. Taeja right now floated over that the third orbital command center. And he's immediately going to drop the mules over here, so his economy is going to be skyrocketing as he is even on workers pretty much. So with all those mules, he's going to be way ahead. Already starting +1 on the Colossus. I think this is going to, I mean, Hwangsin is still in a decent position. Even though his Nexus is, no, actually, I don't like his position that much. I'm sorry, I lied.
No, I think the Colossus tech is actually incorrect. He should be going High Templars from here always. Because if you think about it, the starport now is delayed, but you're also delaying the robotics facility. And you're delaying it so much to the point where he's going to have a good medevac count, and then when you show Colossus, he'll be able to switch over to Vikings very, very easily. And the fact of the matter is, when Terran is able to pressure your a Protoss, that's when they get the most sight on what the Protoss is doing. If you can stop a Terran from actually sharking around and doing this type of stuff, then what's going to happen is they're so much more defensive. They're trying to receive or trying to kind of like have some foresight into what they're about to actually defend against, that they become so much more inefficient. And I think you can kind of see that Taeja is actually going to Ghost Academy, which, don't get me wrong, that's never bad, but he's not defending against the Viking, or excuse me, the Colossus hardcore. And I feel like if he's been putting more pressure on his opponent, trying to actually exercise some drops, he'd be a lot more effective.
Maybe you're right, Andre. Second starport is being added as well while the Viking production is rolling. I was trying to say something and now I forgot about it because I was listening to you for quite a while.
Sorry, bro.
No worries, Andre. What
You
was
know,
I
we're
saying?
both analytical casters.
Yeah, I know. It's just like, I want to say that, I want to say that. But there was one thing you didn't say what I want to say, and I forgot about it. No, actually, Andre, I really think what you said in the start of the game, you said it all. I think Hwangsin just gave too much respect to Taeja by not thinking that he would actually ever be able to straight up win the game there.
Yeah.
Because once more, if he has a warp in fight and he warps in 4 more Stalkers, he had more Stalkers than there were Marines on the field.
Exactly.
That's game ending.
And
Stalkers with Blink.
You know what? He could also put down additional gateways. I mean, all indicators pointed to Hwangsin thought that Taeja would have held that off easily.
Hwangsin has thought, I'm going to try to pick off perhaps a reactor, just slow down the Medevacs a little bit. Maybe I can pick off a few SCVs and then just get out of here, and then I can defend with my Blink Stalkers. And he never for a second thought, hey, I'm going to straight up win the game over here with 3 or 4 gate Blink Stalker aggression with a Robo.
Yeah, because if he's doing anything but triple orbital command center, you fend that off easily, like super easily. What the Blink Stalkers are actually doing right there is saying, do not drop around 10 to 12 minutes. Don't do it, because I have Blink. I'm going to Blink directly on top of your units, on top of your Medevacs, and you're dead. But the problem is, I mean, Hwangsin was actually going up against triple orbital command center yet again, which is something that when we were actually talking, it's like, don't expect him to go triple orbital command center 2 games in a row after you beat him, because that would be, you know, kind of risky for him to do. And I know Taeja does, you know, think about it like, oh, I got to be careful. But now Hwangsin kind of put himself into a situation where he's only on Colossus
the
tech.
Viking count is quite okay, and there's double stop with double reactor, and certainly if EMPs land on the Colossus as well, Hwangsin is seriously going to commit to this army right now.
And you know what? There's no High Templars on the
look
field.
at the position of Vikings. It's so awesome over here.
Oh no, Rotterdam. I don't think
this is going to be terrible.
End well for Kratos.
Oh, beautiful EMPs as well on top of all the sentries. No force fields. Here come the Vikings, Andre.
Beautifully done, picking off all the Colossus before they can do massive AoEs. Look at how many Marines that still exist. That's how you know you've done a good job. And now he's going to surge forward. Marines are just way too effective in these situations. Stalkers and Immortals just don't do enough.
This is Liquid Taeja. Look at that, even sending the army to the right side already. He's going to cut off a few of these Stalkers. Marauders will clean up pretty much everything of Hwangsin. Oh, Hwangsin, you should have never walked there without High Templars. Oh. Wow. And this is also such a good spot normally for Vikings, because Vikings can kind of idle above this high ground, and that's so annoying for Stalkers to actually attack.
Yeah.
EMPs were fantastic, the spread was fantastic by Taeja, and just overall his unit composition. Enough Medevacs, enough Vikings, enough Ghosts. I do think he could have kept a few Ghosts alive, but let's just pretend that never happened. Beautiful fight by Taeja.
Definitely. I mean, that's so powerful, actually, initiating with Ghosts, because think, if you attack and then EMP, you're actually wasting a lot of DPS on those units because you're attacking shields that are going to be EMP'd already. So beautiful cutting coming out here from Taeja. He's going to really seal the deal here. The last Colossus goes down. We should be seeing a GG from Hwangsin. There it is. GG, and Taeja evens the score out. Really nicely played. You know, it's so unfortunate for Hwangsin, but what it came down to, Hwangsin just did not expect his opponent to have so much economy behind that. You know, when you're doing that build, the Blink is really saying, don't try to actually attack me. Don't try to drop me, because I'm going to intercept it really well.
And you're going to lose Medevacs.
And he's not actually, you know, thinking he's going to do a ton of damage with those Blink Stalkers.
Just picking up a reactor or maybe a tech lab, which is researching stim, slows down Terrans so much.
So that's why Hwangsin was getting his 1-1, getting his delayed Colossus, because he was saying, okay, my opponent is just going to give me a ton of time, and then I have this huge attack coming directly after that. But in reality, Taeja fends that off and then has a soaring economy that's going to yield a ton of units. So when his timing attack comes out, Hwangsin's timing attack, which doesn't actually exist anymore because of the build, it's going to just flop completely. And that's exactly what we saw. That timing attack should have hit around 1-1 or 2-2. And it ends up hitting in the middle of 3-3, the most awkward moment possible.
Yeah. Just didn't really add up. Anyways, beautiful game by Taeja. Taeja really showed us what he's capable of. If the game goes to that part where he feels comfortable, but still, if I was Hwangsin, I would be hitting myself 100 minerals, 1 pylon. Yeah. Would have literally...
would have changed the game.
Would have made him 2-0
Because, you know, Stim was actually like 3/4 of the way done. If he snipes that same 1-1 push, or that same Colossus push afterwards, would have greater effects.
Everything would be different, but the moment you have more Stalkers, then there are Marines on the map, and you're in his base, it should be game over when you have Blink, because you should never be able to lose Stalkers. And that's why it was so important that in the start he had 3 Stalkers on the high ground, and he didn't give up high ground vision yet, because sometimes what happens is you blink everything down, and then you lose your observer, and you're like, no, now you can stabilize. But that didn't happen. I thought he has it, but
so close.
Just no additional reinforcements.
Anyway, we're going to cut to a short commercial break. That game was brought to you by Stamps.com. You can head over to nasl.tv/p/stamps for some discounted prices on dem stamps. But when we come back, game number 3 between Taeja and Hwangsin. Who's going to take it? Rotterdam, I have no clue, but we're going to find out after this.